Hello, I'm Dr. Priscilla, the founder of Speak Excellent English. I am a native English speaker and I live in the United States. For those of you that will catch me live this morning, I want to say welcome to Marvelous Monday. While waiting for others to join me, I'm going to read from one of my favorite books, The Power of Half Hour. There is so much that everyone can do in half an hour to achieve any goals they set forth for themselves. So today I'm going to read part two, The Power of Half Hour to Chart Your Life Path. If you arrive and I'm still looking down, please type a hello in the chat box and then I'll speak with you. Clarify your vision and purpose. Half hour power principle. Knowing why you are here brings deep satisfaction. I believe each of us is born having some special talent that enables us to do something better than anybody else. God created every person to do a special thing that he needs done on earth. And if a particular person fails to do that one thing, then it will never be done exactly the way God intended. God will still accomplish his will, but the individual will miss out on the opportunity to play a unique and important role in this activity. God created every person to do a special thing that he needs done on earth. And if a particular person fails to do that one thing, then it will never be done exactly the way God intended. God's unique plans for you relate, of course, to your life vision and purpose. That vision will inspire you, energize you, challenge you, and consume you in the best possible ways. And the only way to get that vision is to spend time humbled in God's presence until he chooses to reveal it to you. That will not happen until he knows that you are devoted to his purpose and can be trusted with the assignment represented by that vision. There is no higher calling you can have than to receive and tirelessly pursue God's unique vision for you. And because God's vision can only be accomplished through the cooperative efforts of people, you will begin to have a sense of how to connect your life with others who will become part of that grand plan for advancing his kingdom. Those who carry out that purpose have a chance to do something that could change lives for the better. And knowing why you are here makes life so much more interesting. I can attest to this, since God's vision for my life has long been to make someone else's life better in the name of Jesus. Because of this, I have enjoyed a wonderful life. Finding your purpose. Discovering your life purpose can happen in a half-hour period. These moments of destiny often seem as if they are accidental, as if you just happen to be at a particular place at a certain time and prepared for circumstances. In God's providence, though, those moments and experiences have been provided to prepare you for your journey to serve God and others. Hi, Tara. I was just reading one of my favorite books. Welcome. It's The Power of Half Hour. So I will stop reading my book, and I'm happy to have you here. And I hope others will join us for the next 5 or 10 minutes. If not, that's all right. So, Tara, I can see that you're here. Can you hear my voice? Tara, if you can hear my voice, could you type the word yes in the chat? If you cannot hear my voice, then I'll know that if you don't type something. All right. So I'm waiting to see if you're going to be able to type anything in the chat. Fantastic, you can hear me. That means others will be able to hear me as well. Is there anything particular that you'd like for me to talk about today? Thank you, Tara. Is there something that you'd like to hear me talk about today? Or you can ask me a specific question and I will try to address it as it relates to you. Again, I'm just broadening my exposure on YouTube to let people know that I am here. So I appreciate your joining. I hope that you have registered for today. I will be in the webinar session at 3. That's Eastern time. Well, approximately 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. I see that someone else has joined us. If you will type your name in the chat, I will address you by name and I will answer questions that you may have, or if there's something that you'd like to say. Okay, so that's Delhas. Hello, Delhas, welcome. I'm here just wanting to answer a few questions that you have. Let others hear my voice to know that I am a native English speaker in the US. And I'm here to help you all. Please remember to register for the webinar today at 3. Tell everyone in your Facebook group about the webinar and ask them also to join my YouTube channel. That way, when I pop on and go live, they will have opportunity to interact with me by type text. So I'm waiting for a question. Give me something to talk about. It could be vocabulary. It could be what is a particular meaning of an idiom. Hello, Dolhas, it's good to see you. And we have a third person here, but I'm not sure who that third person is. So if the third person will identify themselves, that would be fantastic. So what I've suggested is that if you want to talk about an idiom, or if you'd like me to talk more about what an idiom means, I will be happy to do that. Or a vocabulary word, I will be happy to talk about that as well. Again, my goal is to make myself visible to those who may not know that I even exist. Please join my Facebook group page. Thank you for those of you who are already members and are active participants. Or this would be great if you could give me a thought question to post on the Facebook group page today. Something that will cause people to take action. What can you think of that I could put on the page? Okay. So I know that you all are listening, but not just to be here online. I'd like to have this to be a monologue. No, I'm sorry. I'd rather this is not a monologue, but a dialogue. So if you'll say something, I will respond to it. So that's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear from you all by typing. What would you like for me to talk on today? Because this will determine how long I will be online. If there is no discussion, then, okay, Tara wants me to talk about the prepaid courses. Okay, Tara, when you say prepaid actually means something that you paid for that hasn't happened yet. I can certainly put together some prepaid courses, but I would, at this point, rather put together classes that are already paid for, which means something like this. Tell me the type of course you would be interested in, and I would create the course. Then you would pay for the course. Courses that I have already that are available for sale are primarily for students who are interested in the IELTS, the TOEFL, or any of those English speaking exams. My other courses that I teach would be courses that I teach by the half hour or by the hour. Actually, an hour class is only 55 minutes, and a half hour class is 25 minutes. So those classes would be, they're already created as well, and it would be what the student is interested in. That is what a class is. I think that's what you mean by a prepaid course. If a person wants a course, we would talk about the length of time for the course, what the course is specifically supposed to be about, and the goals the student hoped to accomplish at the end of a course. But a class is typically 55 minutes long or 25 minutes long. All right. So, and the cost of those classes right now for 2018, a 25-minute class is going to is priced at only $27 an hour. I'm sorry, that is a 55-minute class is $27, and a half-hour class would be half of that for each session. But if it's a course, it does change because you're taking more than one class. And if a student is interested in having homework assignments, that can be added into the course or the classes, depending upon what the student's needs are. Okay, and let me see. I think you make live on Facebook. Yes, I do go live on Facebook as well. But going live on Facebook right now is part of a challenge that I'm in with a group, and it is for me to develop my speaking skills to go public and talk with organizations about specific topics that they would actually ask me to speak on. Yes, more people would see me on the Facebook Live, but until I finish the challenge, I don't go into the Facebook group page to do that just yet, because it's not as pristine and clear and clean as I would like it for it to be. But when I come here on YouTube, it is to hone that craft, hone that skill. So I'll start out just by maybe reading a book, and depending upon the questions or the time that people are coming on will determine whether I will actually save this live video. But for those who will come, I will answer as best as I can questions, and I will invite them to come to the webinars that I'm hosting for the remainder of the month of December. Let's see. Now, I do have posted in the Facebook Speak Excellent English Facebook group page. I do have it posted, the event. The event is posted. So everyone that comes to Speak Excellent English, they are aware that I do the webinar every day. And those that are just joining Speak Excellent English, I also send them a personal note to invite them to participate. If you'll notice, if I want to take the IELTS or the TOEFL in the future, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, do you think it's beneficial to practice at the moment or not? Honestly, Tara, you are going to excel at the TOEFL or the IELTS at this point at the level that you are now. Your level of understanding, your level of reading, your level of speaking is at the level of a level 9. So in the IELTS. So you don't have to worry about that. I do appreciate the fact that you continue to hone your skill of getting better and better and better. But you are at that point where you will not have to study for the IELTS or the TOEFL. You are at that level that most people would just love to be half of the level that you are. So you're saying you mean practicing for a specific style. Even practicing for a specific style, the IELTS or the TOEFL is a predetermined course of study, and you have already mastered that. So could you tell me, for example, what do you mean about practicing for a specific style? Practicing for a specific style. You have the appropriate vocabulary needed to respond to any question or prompt that's in the IELTS or the TOEFL. You could set for yourself, even for the timing, the IELTS has questions that are designed for you to be able to respond to in 2 minutes, which suggests that you have stamina to maintain a level of comprehension in conversation. In your case, Tara, you can exceed that amount already of speaking. And that's good, because if the examiner asks you to stop, that's fantastic, because that means that you've answered the question in sufficient amount of time and you can still continue. The most important thing to remember is that when you have the prompt, that you're answering the question at the beginning in the event you talk beyond what is needed. You want to be sure that you've used the PETA that I talk about: phrasal verbs and idiom, transitional phrases, and the academic vocabulary. You have sufficient academic vocabulary. In fact, as I've said before, you challenge me. Sometimes I have to think, now, what is that meaning of the definition? What is the meaning of the word that you've used? What is the definition? There has been, but not a lot, a few occasions when I might think, I would not have used that particular word in that situation or that circumstance. I can't remember the word, but if you think about the word, I'll tell you what I was thinking when you used it. It has something with destroying something, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. And though, Hoss, what we had mentioned to you about having conversations maybe related to a particular conference, what would be most important is that you understand the genre, the medical terms in your case. You would be responsible for knowing the medical terms and then engaging into conversation. What would make your conversation better is the fact that you would be using your transitional phrases, however, for this reason, in addition, things like that. Yes, it was innocuous. That's exactly one of the words. So innocuous, when we use the word innocuous, it means that it isn't going to cause harm. We can have an innocuous conversation. And my mind goes to innocuous as a medicine that I might use if I've been bitten by a snake, or I had something that was poisonous entered into my body. I need to get inoculated against that. There are innocuous conversations that people can have, and we want to make sure that we have those innocuous conversations. So, for example, I am a Christian. Someone else may believe in something else, and it may be a little testy when we engage in conversations when beliefs are different. So to have an innocuous conversation, we might choose something a little more neutral. We could talk about things that are not serious or not threatening, humiliating. We might talk about the weather, for example. The weather is an innocuous conversation that anyone can have. Everyone knows about rain and maybe cold weather or hot weather and can talk about it. And there is no, what word can I find? I can't even find the word, but I'm sure you could think of one. But there is no word that comes to my mind that I would use to say that, to avoid conversations that would lead to arguments or hard feelings. And, or if we were talking about race, yeah, that could be an innocuous, that could be not an innocuous, that could be a situation that would be a little testy, argumentative, or racial slurs, for example. In one situation or in one culture, if the culture or that person is using it in their community, it may be fine. But if you're not familiar with that community and the culture, it may be best not to engage in conversation such as that. Yeah. Anything else? Nope. All right. Well, I can't think of anything else at the moment. I want to thank you, Dulhos and Tara, for joining today. Thank you so much. And I'll see the two of you at 3 Eastern time today. All right. Thanks for popping in. I may pop back on again today. Again, just to let people know that I'm live and that they can see who I am, what I look like. All right. Thanks so much. Bye for now. How can we integrate more idioms? The way that you would integrate idioms is to, in your case, Tara, I would say find idioms that you've heard or that you can find on the internet. Then integrate those into a conversational dialogue with me or someone that you're speaking with. All right? But that's a good question. We'll talk more about that today at 3 as well. Take care now. Bye.